Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about CinDWood's new wedges that they've put out for their long looms. This is what the previous wedges looked like. Of course you had a 1 or 2 peg wedge. You would just kind of push them down in. Sometimes they'd be loose or they, it was kind of, they could be very difficult to use. But what they have done is they've came up with a new design. You can see it's got the slits on both sides and it's got a bolt in the bottom where you put a washer and you put the nut on it. What's really nice about these ones is you put them in and they can slide very easy, which is really good on the fingerless glove loom. As you can see, it slides very easy, and then when you get it where you want it, you tighten it and it doesn't move at all. Now, how you put it in is, let's say I'm making medium-sized glove. I'll put that in there where I want it. Put your washer on, and then you just tighten it up. Oops. Let me see, I moved it a little bit. There we go. Now, one thing I do want to show you, if you're using it for the fingerless glove loom, when you go to make your thumb area, there is a little bit of overlap with these, and that is fine because the thumb area is so small it doesn't really go down far enough for that to be an issue. So let me show you what I mean. Say we're making right there, making a medium size, so we want it between the purple and we want it between the blue. Put there, tighten it up. If these overlap, that's perfectly fine. And for the thumbs, you don't need an open spot in the middle. So it is on a 1/2 inch loom. Now they've came out with it for the 3/8 inch gauge loom. And this is the 15 inch 90 peg 3/8 universal hat and scarf oval panel loom. Which I've already got this marked out for some gloves I'm about to make, so I'm not going to move that. But it's the same concept. You put it where you need it. You can slide it easily. You put your bolt in and you are good to go. And now for those of you who have the old wedges, or if you have this loom with the 1 peg wedges, you're going to notice a lot of my patterns. If you are buying patterns from now on, they are going to be wrote up for the 2 peg wedges because that is a perfect gauge. Before, I made it work with the 1 peg wedges just because with the wiggle and stuff with these, I thought it was just too stressful to try to navigate, especially when you had 2 of them on there. And I tried to use stitches where it didn't really make a huge difference anyway. Now I want to show you the difference I'm talking about. Here's a pair of gloves that I made on this loom. One, I used the 1 peg wedge. One, I used the 2 peg wedge. This one, I used the 1 peg wedge. You see how it's a thinner spot? And if I use a thinner yarn, I may end up with like a spot all the way down this side. It'll look like a seam. And this one, there's nothing. So that is the only difference that you're really going to notice. Because even like the extra 2 pegs for the thumb, really, I don't even notice really a size difference in the thumb too much. So all the measurements and everything stay the exact same. It's just you might have that. Now for the 3/8 inch gauge loom, I've been working on gloves on it too. But I don't know. I'm deciding on whether or not to have them come out with a loom that's already marked for sizes, just because you use a lot thinner yarn with this loom. And so swatching becomes very important the smaller the gauge, just because your yarn changes, so the size of the yarn affects the outcome a lot more than it does on a larger gauge loom. I've got this glove. Here's one I made with the new 2 peg wedge. But okay, everybody, that's really all I've got about these. They're really simple to use. Don't worry about, you can see the washer here sticks out. I've made a few projects so far with them, and I have not had that be an issue at all. They're smooth, so it's not catching the yarn. When you're doing like your thumbs, which like for this one, it's right there. You know, the washers might overlap, but that really doesn't affect anything. They tighten up and they loosen up enough to where it's fine if they do overlap, just like that one. But I really, really like these wedges, and they are 100 times better than the previous wedges. Of course, the previous wedges are perfectly fine to use. I'm not saying they're not. These ones are just a huge improvement on the design. Okay, that's it. There will be a direct link to both these looms and the wedges separately in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to email me if you'd like, or you can comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.